Ladies and gentlemen, joining me today is the Godfather. Joining him today is the Podfather. Welcome to On the Mic's new feature where we talk about Pakistani MMA. It's me and Bashir Ahmad. Let's talk PakMMA. How are you doing, Bashir bhai?
I'm doing amazing. Yeah, I'm doing amazing. Look forward to these conversations.
Yeah. और आप लोगों को पता होना चाहिए ये पॉडकास्ट हम इसीलिए बना रहे हैं कि हम लोग पाक एमएमए के बारे में रेगुलरली न्यूज़ फीचर्स करते रहें. बशीर भाई, नो नीड टू इंट्रोड्यूस हिम, इज़ वन ऑफ द मोस्ट वेटरन फेसेस एंड माइंड्स इन पाकिस्तानी एमएमए, जो अब वन चैम्पियनशिप में एक एग्जीक्यूटिव हैं, जो वहाँ बैठ के वन चैम्पियनशिप के इंटरनल अफेयर्स को हैंडल कर रहे हैं और पाक एमएमए पे करीबी नज़र रख रहे हैं. सो बशीर भाई, आई जस्ट वांट टू से फर्स्ट ऑफ थैंक्स फॉर एग्रीइंग टू डू दिस. आई थिंक वी हैव अ लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स टू टॉक अबाउट. बहुत ज़्यादा चीज़ें जिनके बारे में हमें बात करनी है. लेट्स जस्ट जंप स्ट्रेट इनटू इट. लेट्स जस्ट कट राइट टू द चेस. व्हाई बीट अराउंड द बुश? लेट्स टॉक अबाउट द IMMAF World Championships 2021, जो 22 में हुई थी थैंक्स टू कोरोना, बट दे वर हेल्ड इनसाइड Zayed Sports Complex, inside the Jiu-Jitsu arena in Abu Dhabi. One whole week of more than 400 fights. So many fights, man. I can't even begin to tell you. But the major news is that Team Pakistan went for the first time as a federation, as a team. And we were able to secure our first wins. We were able to secure our first medal. We were able to secure our first finishes. A very historic tournament. Bashir bhai, right off the bat, jahan aap baithe hue hain, from your perspective, what was it like seeing the news? What was it like following it on social media? What was it like hearing from me and Umar as well? Which I just want to clarify right now, by the way, I am the acting general secretary of the Pakistan MMAF. So of course, there's a bit of bias, I guess, one way or the other, but मैं आप लोगों को एक honest, truthful perspective दूंगा, because being a journalist does come first. What was it like for you watching all of the news unfold while you were sitting a little far away?
I wish we had spoken about this earlier, because while it was like fresh, so you could capture more of the excitement, but it was awesome. Every time that there's a milestone event for Pakistani MMA, I get nervous every single time. When I'm watching these people compete who have been around the scene for a long time, like my hands get clammy. Yeah, actually now they're starting to get clammy already just talking about it. My hands get clammy. I get butterflies in my stomach. So that's what the week felt like for me. Yeah. And the reaction to everything, I mean, we got a medal, and we got a medal. And we didn't get a medal because no one showed up. We got a medal by beating the former champion. We got a medal by beating guys with much better resources and I'm assuming more experience. So that was amazing. And not just one person was winning fights, but we had two different people winning. And then I think Zulqurnian's second match, because Zulqurnian being the second person to win, was it a split decision?
Yeah, he lost a split decision. That's how he got eliminated.
So that means one of the judges thought that he won, so it was close enough for someone to think that he had won, unless that judge was, blind. But
yeah, salty so or something.
Huge. We had a female competing. That's huge. Everyone going together, preparing beforehand. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. And hopefully this year, everyone can capitalize on it.
Yeah.
But a huge milestone. And I want to ask you. I don't know why you're asking me. I should be asking you since you were there. But what was everybody's reaction to this? I mean, so I went to the first General Assembly for the IMMAF, right? So I think luckily Pakistan has had a presence, right? So we didn't come out of nowhere. But at the same time, because we've had a presence, people have probably been seeing the slow evolution. And this was just very sudden,
Yeah.
So what did people say?
I think everybody was shocked. लोग काफ़ी खुश थे वहाँ पे, especially the higher ups in the IMMAF, because IMMAF का goal एक ही है, to expand MMA जितना ज़्यादा वो कर सकते हैं across different parts of the world, but also to make it an Olympic level sport, and they need countries like Pakistan coming up and performing. But if I'm being completely honest, more than being happy for us, more than being surprised, all of that, they were just absolutely blown away by the kind of team that was there for the first time, because people, of course, in IMMAF as well, उनको एक impression है पाकिस्तानी MMA के बारे में और पाकिस्तान के बारे में first and foremost. I know this is a very cliched thing that we're breaking cultural norms and stereotypes, but when people come up to us and talk to us about MMA or about fighting or about just the sport, we would give them answers which they would expect from any other country that's been following MMA for over 20 years. Guess what? We have been following and competing in MMA for over 15 years. This is not our first rodeo, and this is kind of what we wanted to get across to people as well, that there is MMA in Pakistan, that there are fighters in Pakistan. And yeah, IMMAF was extremely, extremely happy. A lot of people were shocked to the point where they tried finding old fights of Ismail Khan and trying to get him disqualified even. That thing always happens, but that's just a testament to how damn good Ismail is, how damn good Pakistani MMA is. Now, Bashir bhai, I think you touched on something very important. I got to really clarify that real quick. We know that there are problems with how things have been going on so far in Pakistani MMA, and we know there's problems with the PakMMA as well currently, at least how things were done the last time, but that's all. And I want to put this story out right now. Here's what happened. The rightful mandate for the IMMAF, वो पार्टी जो IMMAF में पाकिस्तान को एक टीम भेजने का मैंडेट दिया गया है, वो ग्रीन हिल है. ग्रीन हिल is partners with Umar. Green Hill is partners with ARY. When Green Hill was told that we need a team, and when ARY said that we can sponsor you, it was 1 month removed from the competition, not 1 month from the flight date, 1 month from the competition. That's how much time we had to put a team together. So putting a team together of 5 people who are each the best in their weight class, Ayub Khan could not go because of an issue, so we had to put in Taimur in heavyweight. That was the team we got to assemble. We know that's not the way we want to do it moving forward. There will be a national championship. There will be a trial process. There will be all of these things which are necessary for federation to function moving forward. And this year, 2022, in December, when IMMAF happens again, hamari puri उम्मीद है, हमारी पूरी कोशिश है that we have a tournament before we send a team, because that's very, very important. But that's just the negative. The positive, like we've already been emphasizing, dudes got medals, dudes got win. Pakistan is on the map. Fuck that. We're ranked number 9 in the world right now. That is what we need to focus on. That is the narrative that we need to push, that from 0 or 50 something, not even 0, 50 something down there, we're now up to number 9 thanks to 1 medal and 4 wins at the IMMAF World Championships, which is the Olympics of MMA. I swear, if this was javelin throw or cricket or some bullshit like that, people would be going crazy, and that pisses me off. But this is a very, very successful outing for Pakistani MMA, and I'm sure you're proud as a proud godfather watching all of this.
Oh, extremely. अब ये बताओ कि मीडिया ने इस बात को इतना उठाया नहीं है. And I was expecting that they would.
Yeah.
I was expecting they would, because I mean, and this is not to rag on anything, but I mean, there's been people who have won small events, right, out in some random country, and they come back and they get all this media coverage, and that's fine because everyone has to promote themselves, right? This is not a rag, but it's interesting. Like, log kehte hain ki hum is support nahi karte media, they like to cry about it. Actually, the media supports Pakistan a lot, because you go win some small event, right? Okay, this guy won the world championship, right? So when we actually won at a quite a legitimate tournament, media ne kyun nahi cover kiya?
I'll answer that for you in 2 parts. First of all, इस गेम में होते हुए अब मैं आप लोगों को बता सकता हूँ कि the term media is kind of blanket and unfair. मैं भी मीडिया हूँ एक तरीके से, if you think about it. On the mic भी मीडिया है, और हम लोग कसम से इस टूर्नामेंट के अलावा किसी चीज़ को कवर नहीं कर रहे थे उस हफ्ते. There's videos of it up there. But then also ARY is also media who sponsored the entire team to go. We're actually paid shit tons of money so that we can get
media.
So ARY, I mean, media है हमारे साथ, but यार सारी media कभी साथ नहीं होगी, especially when, one media conglomerate is your major sponsor, which is the unfortunate reality and the fortunate reality, if you think about it, right? So
politics चल रहे होंगे.
Of course, लेकिन बशीर भाई, I think honestly speaking इतना मसला नहीं है. Like लोग दूसरे पॉडकास्ट में भी आके स्पेसिफिकली कह रहे हैं मीडिया सपोर्ट नहीं. पहली बात, मीडिया सपोर्ट है, टीम इसलिए गए क्योंकि मीडिया सपोर्ट है. दूसरी बात, if you open A Sports HD, the fights were playing the entire time we were in that week. We got access to those fights and got them played on national TV. Third of all, there's a documentary being made about the team as we speak. And fourth of all, go check PakMMAF social media, check On the Mic. This is the media you should be concerning with, and not sitting there going media support nahi hai. Well, no wonder nahi hai, kyunki you're just so negative about things all the time. Yeah, sorry, go on. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're right. I'm the media too, right?
Yeah,
I'm a big platform for what's going on in Pakistani MMA, and so
exactly. Yeah,
yeah,
it makes
you're
complete
right.
sense. So there is problems, Bashir Bhai. There is a lot of things that were wrong, but the positive things to highlight, I think that's what's most important. And the
Yeah,
first
yeah.
and most important thing, and the person we got to discuss is Ismail the Volcano Khan, of course, real quick. I just want to get across, Abhi, that Ismail is also an exceptional talent. Ismail is physically gifted. All of that is true. He's an exceptional wrestler. He's worked on his game a lot. Cax Fight Club deserves all respect. But the most important thing, Bashir Bhai, is that he was the most active guy in Pakistani MMA. That's it. Every couple of months, you would hear about Ismail the Volcano guy Khan fighting. Every couple of months, you would hear him about fighting twice in one night. Every other month, you'd hear some crazy shit about him tossing a guy across the cage. That is what it's all about. He was the most consistent, most consistently performing fighter. Credit goes to him. But it's not like us pe kuch jadoo ki chhadi chalai gayi thi Nasir Khan pe. Nasir Khan deserves a lot of credit. But at the same time, it's just hard work, it's just training, it's just consistency. That's what got him to where he is. So sare amateur fighters, agar aap ye dekh rahe ho, don't be disheartened or confused as to why someone like Ismail Khan can go ahead and do something while you're still fighting in Pakistan. Just be consistent and your hard work will pay off. Ismail ka hamare se koi lena dena nahi hai. The only reason we put him in the team is because we knew he was the best by a mile, and I think he proved it. And I think that's just ये इंपॉर्टेंट लेसन है कि अगर आप अपनी वेट क्लास में बेस्ट फाइटर हो तो आप IMMAF जाओगे, आपको कोई भी नहीं रोक सकता. किसी को आपको रोक के कुछ मिलेगा भी नहीं. So you know what I mean? This is just the important positive things to highlight. Other than that, I think you've been working with Umar Ahmed and even myself to a large degree for the last couple of months. I think, and I want to toss this over to you now, I think it's kind of special what Umar Ahmed is doing right now with Pakistani MMA. And I don't think a lot of people realize that.
What Umar is doing, I mean, Umar is engaging some high level people on a very regular basis. It is not just like, I think I got this sponsor, this Hail Mary pass, हो सकता है तो किसी को लग जाए इसके साथ meeting हो जाए इस बंदे के साथ, right? He's in close communication with people who can make a lot of things happen in the sport. And I think as long as it keeps going on this trajectory, it has the potential to be revolutionary for Pakistani MMA.
Yeah. And I feel like he deserves a lot of credit for being able to put everything together. I was there with him, making sure everything can get done. We worked our asses off for this. I'm so glad it paid off. I'm so glad we got to go. And most importantly, we really showed IMMAF and the world basically that we're not here to play around. A lot of people thought it'd be an easy round to get Pakistan, the European world champion gold medalist, to face Ismail. Thought it would be an easy outing, and he got told otherwise. The World Cup silver medalist also got told, and these are guys from Italy, these are guys from Tajikistan, these are guys from Greece, and Greece invented wrestling, and Ismail like tossed that dude around. So you know what I mean? It was all like very rewarding stuff. And I think overall, Bashir Bhai, to conclude this conversation about the IMMAF, I think you'll agree with me when I say that Pakistani MMA कि कोई सेंट्रल बॉडी नहीं रही, कोई मेन फेडरेशन नहीं रही. इवन नाउ जो हमारी फेडरेशन है वो एमए को रेगुलेट या उस तरह नहीं करना चाह रही कि मतलब हम लोग कंट्रोल करें कि फ़ाइटें कहाँ हो रही, वो फेडरेशन कौन सा बुलशिट है. बट विदाउट इवन वन यूनिफाइड फ्रंट, we've able to develop the game in such a way that we have legitimate contenders who can go and compete anywhere in the world. Do you agree with that statement?
Oh, 100%. My personal philosophy for, I mean, life progress and like how humans interrelate in general is that centralized authority can be very hampering towards progress, right? So all these people who want to like, and I know we're talking about federations, and I know you also function as a representative of the Pakistan MMA Federation, but nonetheless, like I think federations can be a detriment to the sport, a detriment to the sport. You know, it hampers a lot of things. It can hamper things, and yes, we do need some kind of representation or some kind of format and infrastructure, right? But that infrastructure should inherently, this is my opinion here, should inherently be almost unable to be controlled by a small group of individuals, right? With by its very nature, right? And this is my philosophy, not towards just sports federations, but towards government, towards financial regulation, right? We want to talk about Bitcoin and want to talk about decentralized finance. You know, we want to talk about, like, I don't know if you know what a DAO is, right? It's just like it's potentially the organizations of the future, right? But point being is that the way that Pakistani MMA is growing, I think a lot of it has to do with the lack of a strong governing federation, right? So yes, there should be some infrastructure, and yes, there would be a representative of that infrastructure, right? But people who think that yes, the federation should control everything and should monitor everything, it's a recipe for hampering results. That's my opinion on the matter. You know, Pakistani MMA has grown because people haven't been able to actually enforce. नहीं अच्छा ये event जो है हम इसको recognize करते आपने करते ये illegal है हम इसको बंद करेंगे. People haven't been able to do that, and if somebody has the power to actually do that, then नहीं ये हमारे regulations के खिलाफ चल रहे हैं, हम ये event जो है illegal है हम इसको बंद करेंगे, right? ये fighter जो है इसने ये चीज complete नहीं किया, हम ये कागजात ये सनद whatever ये registration ये license उसने नहीं किया, ये खेल नहीं सकता. Right? People will take these things and they will manipulate them and they will use them as a tool for personal vendettas, for whatever difference of opinion. So I think the way that things are going is good. And if people have this expectation that Pakistani MMA is not growing or it's being hampered, I disagree, right? I disagree. And I've said this to you before, and I've said it in other places. Look, how long will it take for an athlete to potentially be a champion in an organization, right? At least 10 years, right? At least 10 years. So what, you think that the government's going to give, I don't know, 10 crore de diya, 10 arab de diya in the sport, or next year there's going to be somebody who's going to become like a world champion? It's not possible.
No, yeah.
You know, it's not possible. People still have to go through the process of learning and developing. Like Ismail. Ismail is not the result of a sponsor. He's not the result of a federation. Ismail is the result of years and years of work and consistency, right? And that's going to be the recipe for everybody. Pakistan has a population of 200 million. If the sport becomes popular, which increasingly it is, but at the same time, ho sakta hai, MMA, cricket की मंजिल तक ना पहुंचे.
Yeah.
हो सकता है. ना पहुंचे, but as long as it keeps growing, the talent pool will also increase. Yeah. All these different genetics, you know, are going to come into play, right? There's going to be more competitions, more ways for people to rise to the top, and it's going to be a natural evolution. You know, yeah. People's expectations that federation को हम लाएंगे और फिर सब कुछ ठीक होगा. ये federation को लाएंगे और फिर sport progress होगा. I disagree. Yeah, I disagree.
No, I like your and that was very formative for me when I think it was on the mic number 7 when you told me that and I really thought, you know, like something's missing for us to get a world champion. It's just time, and it's just time and it's consistency, not just time. Time is time wasted.
Look, let me tell you something. Like, look at I just posted this on the PakMMA page. I dug up a video of Ehtisham fighting Afnan, right? Yeah. Like,
oh, by the way, I'm gonna cut you off there for real quick. अगर आप उन क्या लफ्ज़ इस्तेमाल करूं जितना बुरा ना हो, अगर आप उन बेवकूफ़ों में से एक हैं जिनने कभी कहीं ना कहीं ये पोस्ट किया है या किसी को बोला है कि एहतिशाम करीम एक कोच कैसे हो सकता है जब वो कभी लड़ा ही नहीं है, बूम, देयर यू गो. वो 2 दफ़ा लड़ा हुआ है, शायद 2 से भी ज़्यादा दफ़ा लड़ा हुआ है. वो लड़ा हुआ है जब आपको पता भी नहीं था कि MMA है क्या. You know what I mean? अगर आप इस तरह की बातें करते हैं. But yes, go on. Exactly. Coach EKS used to fight.
Yeah. So, like, that was 10 years ago. I mean, if you watch it, the skill level is not really high, right? But that's because that's where the sport was, right? Ehtisham went through that process of not having any training partners, not having any coach, right? Not even having the same YouTube resources that everybody has, right? He was probably looking through and, like, illegally downloading like, stuff, learn techniques that you can find like with such high quality production on YouTube now, right? So and he was going through that process at the time so that there could be people who are competing on the international stage, and same with Nasir and Nasir's teachers, right? And the result of that is like someone like Ismail Khan.
Exactly. And also, I want to shout out right now. There's been a lot of criticism being levied towards the federation when it comes to the selection of athletes. First of all, well, not a lot, but there is some out in the ether, and it bothers me. So I just want to address it. First of all, Zulqurnian Khan. Right off the bat, no bullshit. I'll just go straight into it. Zulqurnian Khan is one of the most experienced amateurs that we've had. He didn't go under a team previously, but he's one of the guys who's actually competed at IMMAF, knows how the system works. But more than that, also, he's won any amateur fight that you've put ahead in front of him, and we've tried to find literally anybody who would dare to fight him in the last couple of years, which is why he went. And then also a lot of people are talking about how, and also Zulqurnian comes up to me every day and he says, please find me someone to fight. Literally, ये एक open challenge है एक तरीके से. अगर आप मिडिल वेट पे एमेचर फाइटर हैं तो प्लीज़ मेरे से रब्ता करें, मेरे DMs खुले हुए. दूसरी बात, when it comes to Team Fight Fortress, a lot of people criticize them for manipulating the circuit and making sure their guys go ahead. They were a part of the coaching fraternity this time, meaning Ehtisham was the head coach, Haider was the assistant coach, Alumi was the corner man. Not one of their fighters went to the IMMAF World Championship this time, which is a major sign of maturity to me, that they were able to take a back seat willingly and actually send someone. That's just how... that's just a very good sign to me that everyone wants to come together, सारे इकट्ठे आके मिलके काम करना चाह रहे हैं, and we should use this point in time in Pakistani MMA history to actually come together as opposed to say things and split each other apart. I don't think there's any point in sitting there and saying फलाना cooperative नहीं था, फलाने ने अपने लड़के को नहीं भेजा कैंप पे, फलाना फुल कह रहा था कि मैंने इधर कैंप करना. You know, we don't need to sit here and do all of that. It's just this simple. If you're the best, you're going. If you think you're the best when you're not the best, reach out to the federation. We'll fix that and we'll get you a fight. And also, everyone needs to come together like TFF did this time. Major respect to them. उन्होंने ये नहीं किया कि हमारा लड़का नहीं जा रहा, हम नहीं टीम भेजेंगे, हम नहीं लड़का भेजेंगे. They were like, अच्छा हमारा लड़का नहीं जा रहा. Well, we wanted Ehtisham as a coach. They're like, we won't just send Ehtisham as the head coach. We'll send Haider as the assistant coach. We'll send Alumi as a corner man, who, by the way, a lot of the fighters said possibly the best corner man they could have had. So yeah, I think this is all in all a very positive sign of growth that has come over time, from time and consistency, that PakMMA is finally reaching a point where we can get legitimate wins, get a medal, get finishes, and sky's the limit, really.
Yeah. One thing is that it's kind of a reality check too, is that Pakistani MMA is increasing. So is the rest of the world. We cannot... हम पाकिस्तानी MMA को एक वैक्यूम में नहीं देख सकते.
Yes, I agree.
Right? हम ये नहीं कह सकते कि अच्छा MMA बाकी दुनिया में वहीं पे रही है, यानी कि वो बड़ा इंटरनेशनल लेवल, हाई लेवल था और पाकिस्तान जो है वो जा रहा है. नहीं, everybody is growing. The sport is growing, right? And which is why Pakistan is also growing, right? So there's a lot of progress in Pakistan. Pakistan has made a lot of progress, but I think athletes also need to know that one, there's more opportunity, right? But number two, it's going to be harder and harder for you to stand out. It's going to be harder and harder for you to actually, because with the opportunity comes a bigger infrastructure. It becomes a longer path that you need to travel, right? For me, for example, right, I had made two amateur fights, 3 amateur fights, and then I had one professional fight against someone that, like, I had a jiu-jitsu in the Punjab Jiu-Jitsu Championships, and he beat me, by the way.
Oh, wow.
He got the gold medal in it. Yeah. So I was like, okay, you beat me in jiu-jitsu. Let's, it was like this weird combat jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Where you can punch and then take down.
Okay.
Yeah. But
Desi jiu-jitsu.
What's that?
Desi jiu-jitsu. Sorry.
I know. Yeah. I forget what the name was.
Yeah.
I forget what the name was.
But you got him back.
And then I went and fought in one championship. And that pathway for people it's a different time. That was almost 10 years ago. That was almost 10 years ago. So things have changed. A lot of athletes in Pakistan that were able to compete internationally with not much previous experience, and you're not going to see that in the future.
No, sir. And I think one important thing that you mentioned about standing out, I feel like there's going to be a bit of an extra spark when it comes to every single event that we see in PakMMA now. And lucky for us, we have me on the ground who's going to try to get his ass to every single event and be there for it and cover it and announce for it and yada, yada, yada. I'm going to start talking about one just now. Just as a concluding note, is there anything else on the IMMAF World Championships that you think we've missed out on that we need to cover? Other than, of course, your boy got to MC and ring announce for the entire thing. Come on, Bashir. I was waiting. I was like, when is he going to set it up? When is he going to toss it over to me? When am I going to, you know what I mean? No, but it's okay. It's okay. I'm kidding.
First of all, when I was watching, I was like, man, you know what I was thinking? You know what the thought was? This is the exact thought that I had. It's like, is Daniyal trying to copy somebody when he does all this stuff? Because there's somebody that sounds just like him, right? Is everyone trying to rip each other off, right? And that was my exact thought. I was like, that sounds like Daniyal. It's not Daniyal. So it's somebody who sounds like Daniyal. Yeah. Is Daniyal copying somebody? And also copying somebody? And then everyone's just being this, like, you know. And that was my initial thought.
Yeah.
And then when you told me that you were commenting, that we were announcing, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Pretty crazy.
What an amazing experience for you.
Still hasn't.
Probably did. Yeah.
Still haven't processed it. You know what I mean? Like, still, it's been 2-3 weeks since I've been back. Still haven't wrapped my head around the fact that I got to announce for the IMMAF World Champion. Fuck. Anyway, but you know what I mean? Like, it was literally just one of those things where I got to introduce myself to MC Ricky Wright, who's just like the nicest guy. I told him, listen, man, I'm a ring announcer in Pakistan. I know you'll be doing your thing tomorrow, but if I can pick your brain, because Bashir, मैं कभी किसी और ring announcer से नहीं मिला in my life. Like, मुझे कोई और पाकिस्तान में बंदा नहीं मिला जिसको मैं जाके कह सकता हूँ कि आप रिंग अनाउंसर मुझे थोड़ी टिप्स दे दें. तो मैं उसके पास गया. I told him, listen, whatever, you know, just this is what I do. I showed him my shit and I was like, just please give me some feedback. And we just got to know each other, and I was like, okay, cool. I was like, listen, I'm a young journalist here. I'm supposed to be writing articles about the event, but if you need me to ring announce, all you need to give me is 20 minutes and a piece of paper and I'll fucking do it. I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? He was like, oh yeah, no, there's another MC. He's a local guy, but yeah, for sure. I'll let you know, whatever. Then the next day, event day, Stro was supposed to start 11 baje, pure at 11. And he comes up to me at 10:37 a.m. and he says, hey, remember what you said about that piece of paper? 20 minutes, here you go. I was like, what the and he's literally like the other guy no-showed and we need you for today. And I was like, okay. Then I just tried. Bashir, there was Russian names, Uzbeki names, Tajiki names, Ukrainian names, Scandinavian. There was this all kind of names that I've never had to say in my life. And then I just had to adapt and, you know, we got it done. And then they were just like, okay, fuck the other guy. I guess we're keeping you on for the rest of the. And then it was just the greatest single experience of my life, and I still haven't been able to get over it, and I'm still not over it, and I don't think I ever will be. And I'm fine with that. I'm content with that. Yeah, no, it was incredible. It was incredible. But yeah, representation at the IMMAF World Championships was through and through. You heard a Pakistani guy on the mic. You heard Pakistani guys absolutely kick ass inside the cage. I think it was a very successful tournament for Pakistan. People know us now. People know we exist, and I think that's the most important thing. I think that's enough of my own ego stroking. We'll get on to the next thing, and that's what I want to talk to you about: making an impact, making a statement. Ladies and gentlemen, IMMAF World Championships के बाद सबसे पहला मिक्स मार्शल आर्ट्स का मुकाबला होने जा रहा है 26 February को inside the G9 Highlanders Football Club in Islamabad. We've already uploaded a separate video by now about this, but I'm talking about Grudge Fighting Championship, orchestrated by the amazing Alpha Power couple, Alpha Akibawan and Kainat, his wife, who are both coming together to put on this event. They're both from TFF and they're both wanting to put on some amateur fights. I'm just going to run through the card a little bit, and there's one fight in particular that I want to discuss with you. I've broken down the other fights in the other video. Rizwan Ali from Pakido taking on Nasratullah Nixit from Afghanistan in the main event. I think that's a very fun fight. Every time Rizwan Ali fights, he's just incredible. It's finish after finish. I'm a very big fan of his. Sajjad Ali from TFF's taking on Hussein Khan from Pakido, which is refreshing because Pakido needs more amateur fighters. There's literally none that I can think of. So this is a good sign. We need more Pakido guys in the amateur circuit. Abdul representing Shaheen Academy is taking on Saad Khan, who's a 2-0 wrestler from Underground Wolves Pindi. Very interesting match up. Let's see if Underground Wolves could potentially match up with the skill level that Abdul Rahman has been able to develop over time. Sajid Karim Katoshi, a very good front runner for IMMAF, taking on Wasik Panjsheri. And now the fight that I want to discuss with you is Abu Bakr Munir, representing Shaheen Academy, taking on Abdul Manan, known as the Little Master, representing CAX Fight Club. Do you know the backstory to this fight? Do you want me to run?
Know that Abdul, that Manan beat
yes.
Abu Bakr in a grappling tournament, tapped him out in the first couple minutes. Yeah. So
that's the backstory.
That's all I know. So I mean, obviously that's a tough fight, and people are very familiar with Abu Bakr because of his time on the scene. And so when he went to IMMAF, everyone had very high hopes for him, and I don't think anyone would have been like, "Oh, you sent the wrong person," right? He's legit amateur who hasn't lost in Pakistan.
Yeah.
But he faced a very tough Russian. How did that guy do, by the way? The Russian that he first fought.
Guess.
Did he win gold?
He got gold, baby. So Abu Bakr जिस लड़के से IMMAF पे हारा है, वो बाद में उस टूर्नामेंट का गोल्ड मेडलिस्ट बना है. तो मतलब and same with Ismail Khan. Zulqurnian का जो अपोनेंट था वो एटलीस्ट ब्रॉन्ज मेडलिस्ट बना था. ईमान की अपोनेंट सिल्वर मेडलिस्ट थी. तैमूर का अपोनेंट ब्रॉन्ज मेडलिस्ट था. तो मतलब जो भी लड़के हमारे हारे हैं, अबू बकर इंक्लूडेड, उनके सारे अपोनेंट जाके मेडल्स जीते हैं. ये बात एक नोट करना जरूरी है. एनीवे, गो ऑन बशीर भाई.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to know what that has done to Abu Bakr's confidence, right? And what that has done to Manan's confidence in terms of his ability to beat him and impose his will. So that's the big question for me, because Abu Bakr is very experienced, very well-rounded. CAX Fight Club has shown just through their performance what their athletes are like. So it's tough for me to really make a judgment on what I think the result of that match is going to be. It's a toss-up. It's a complete toss-up. It's a big opportunity for Manan because Abu Bakr has a name in the amateur scene. He's got a name, and so it's a big opportunity for him to put his name out there to a broader audience.
For sure. And I'm just going to say it right away. Like, हम लोग national championships का इंतजार करेंगे to find out who the people are going to IMMAF next time. And that's going to be announced soon on the federation pages in very, very short time. I'm hoping a lot of things need to be put together, like sponsors. But point being, अब फेडरेशन की, और फेडरेशन क्या है यार, फेडरेशन कुछ लाइक मैं आई डोंट लाइक द वर्ड फेडरेशन. अब वो है, उसमें तो हम यूज़ कर लेते हैं. इट्स रियली जस्ट लाइक अ सेंट्रल बॉडी जो देख रही है आपको. एंड दिस फाइट अबू बकर वर्सेस अब्दुल मनान फॉर मी इज़ ऑटोमेटिकली वन ऑफ दोज फाइट्स जो अब एक नया फ्रंट रनर हमारे लिए बनाएगी इस लाइटर वेट क्लासेस में. If that makes sense to you. This is a very, very big high stakes fight according to me. Abdul Manan is 4-0 in boxing, 7-1 in kickboxing, 4-0 in MMA. His grappling acumen aside, whatever gold medals he might have won in Flogger Grappling Series 2 or otherwise. So it's a very good matchup, like you said. It's a very important matchup for both guys. Abu Bakr, I feel like, needs a win to bounce back, but this is like the toughest possible fight he could have gotten right after coming back. And I think massive respect to him for taking this fight. For Abdul Manan, this is the biggest opportunity, like you said, to really stamp and make a statement moving forward. And like I've said, Sajjad Ali, Sajid Karim Katoshi, Abdul Rahman, these are all guys who automatically, in your mind, and my mind especially, stand out as the running favorites. So all of them are getting fights here. All of them have that added pressure, and pressure makes diamonds, baby. I'll say it all day. Like, this is the best thing possible for PakMMA. Every fight needs to feel like it's a big fight, and this is a big, big fight. According to me, it's the sleeper fight. This is the fight that's really gonna set the tone moving forward. For a lot of, PakMMA, because everything else aside, listen, ट्राइबलिज्म मुझे पसंद नहीं है बिल्कुल भी, कि जब लोग अपने अपने लाइक जगह बना के बैठ जाएंगे, मैं इधर हूँ वो उधर है, मैं इधर का हूँ वो उधर का है। ये चीज़ें मुझे इतनी पसंद नहीं होती, बट अल्टीमेटली हम इंसान हैं, और इंसान में ये कैफियत है कि वो अपनों के बारे में ज़्यादा सोचता है, दूसरों के बारे में उनको थोड़ा पीछे रखता है, ऑल ऑफ दैट। दिस इज़ अ वेरी बिग शाहीन वर्सेस कैक्स क्वेश्चन फॉर मी एज वेल. Like, what is the skill level like for both clubs, now that they're finally coming to a head? I feel like this has happened before with Abdul Rahman taking on Ayan, but that was very short notice fight. And it went a certain way. I feel like this is one of those fights which isn't just important for the fighters, also important for the clubs. Do you still feel like that kind of tribalism when you look at Shaheen, even though you're so far away?
Honestly, I've never been too much into the gym tribalism, even when I was in Pakistan, right? Even when I was in Pakistan. Like when I competed in one championship, my first few fights, I represented PakMMA.
Yeah.
It wasn't until later. It wasn't until later that I represented Synergy. And I did that begrudgingly. I was like, well, it's probably good for my gym. I have a family that's probably do that. Probably my best interest, right? To do that. And I did that reluctantly, to be quite honest with you, you know? So I never really had that. Like, I obviously, I had my friendships and I had an affinity for the people training at my gym, but I didn't really get into it. Like, I didn't have too much of a tribal mentality when it came, because I'm like, I just did Pakistani MMA. I love it all.
Wait, so you don't hate Pakito? That's incredible.
No, I mean, they add their own flavor and they add their own character to the entire scene.
No, I was just saying that because Jaleel Ahmed is literally trying to cuss you out any minute he gets. I don't know why.
And we're going to talk about this, and then he's going to say something, and it's going to irritate me. So I don't want to even get into that.
I got you.
Yeah.
No, I got you. Maybe for another time. You know what I mean? But
maybe.
Who knows? Who knows? When
Imran had his one championship, I don't know if it was his debut. No, it wasn't his debut. It was one of his fights, and he wasn't able to get a corner man there. I'm there and I'm trying to do my best to take care of the guy, right? Because at the end of the day, he's representing Pakistani MMA. So in the end, it's that's the thing that matters the most.
Yeah. And I think these fights are also important for that exact same reason. All of these guys, jokes aside, all of these guys are representing Pakistan eventually, hopefully, if they keep their winning ways up. So I mean, it's really not important anymore. It's just the mindset. हर इंटरव्यू पे आके अपने लड़कों को या अपने क्लब को आगे रखना और दूसरों को पीछे रखना is just not a good, healthy mindset to go about.
No, I think it's fine. It's fine. It's normal. When you think someone from American Top Team or from Team Lakai, they're not gonna. It's totally normal. I think I'm personally interested in a little bit of a different position because I never really had that. Like, I had my friendship. The people from Synergy are still the ones that I'm closest to.
Yeah.
Right. The people from Shaheen are still the ones that I'm closest to.
Of course. Yeah.
But but what I don't have is that I don't have that tribal mentality so much. Like, do I want the Shaheen people to do the best? Absolutely. Right. But it's not like I don't get super emotional about it.
Yeah. No, I get you. Switching gears, I want to talk to you about Legacy Fight Series. Have you heard of
switching gears? I've got a pizza waiting for me.
Oh no!
I was waiting for this Zoom call to be like 40 minutes is up. Gotta go. Looks like you have the paid version.
Yeah. On the mic, baby. We don't play safe. It's okay. Really quickly, I'm just gonna go over these couple of pieces of news, just really el rapido, so that we can just get over it. Legacy Fight Series, in case you have heard of them or haven't heard of them, they are coming very soon.
When is that?
Legacy Fight Series is a fighting promotion that started now by my gym.
When is that?
It was supposed to be 6 March. Now it's pushed forward, I believe, to the end of March. Date has not been announced, so I'm not going to spoil it either. But they're coming in and they're signing multiple fight exclusive deals for professional fighters in Pakistan. Do you think that's too early for that? Because I feel like we don't need to bound guys by promotional contracts this early on, man. Like, we still got these guys who need fight every other month.
That's do I think it's a little bit early? Yeah, possibly. We need a lot more time to talk about this subject.
Yeah.
We need to break this up.
Next time. Yeah, next week.
Next week. In general, I would say that it's like, is there ever a good time for this? Maybe this is when, like, the natural time for it to happen. It may not be a good idea. Is it too early? I don't know, but it may not be a good idea,
right.
You know, because we don't know, like, are they going to have regular events? Are these athletes going to be giving up opportunities? But we'll see, right? Yeah. We'll see. So is it too early? I don't know, because people have wanted to do this, have tried to do this in the past, right? When it was definitely too early, right? But they still tried. So we'll find out if it's too early or not.
And last thing, last thing on the agenda, and nothing more after this. We're going to skip the international fight news for this week. I want to talk to you about, and I'm sure you can take out 2 minutes for these boys, 3WL/RealWrld Fight League, whatever you want to call it. It's now called RealWrld Fight League. It's white collar fighting. The difference is white collar fighting का मतलब ये है कि ये लोग ज़्यादातर इस mindset से नहीं fight करे कि वो full time fighters बने. Simply they just want to fight for the fighting experience, for all of that. I think it is right now really turning into something good, because if you have seen the fights, which I think you should go watch, the quality of fights is also improving. Bashir bhai, these kids are really putting in a lot of work. I see it firsthand. How do you feel about?
Yeah, I'm a fan. I think they're doing a great thing for MMA in Pakistan, because for the gyms, for the fans, the casual fans, right? These are the kind of opportunities that build the foundation, right? Not everything has to be, the real, like, professional. And if you're not a professional, well, then I'm not even going to talk to you. You're not even worth my time, right? We're going to look down upon you. No, these guys are doing a great thing. They're filling a really, really big gap, and they're creating a really, really good platform for people who don't want to be professionals, for getting acceptance of the casual fan, and for getting the casual fan and the super casual fan into the sport. Yeah. Because the super casual fan is when the casual fan goes and fights. Then the super casual fan, like all their friends, they're going to come in and watch, because, if Ismail is fighting, if Abu Bakar is fighting, if Alumi is fighting, right? The main base are going to be his teammates in his gym, right? Yeah. But when, your buddy from Ehtisham or whatever is fighting, right? And he has no intention, he doesn't even train at a gym, right? He's just training with his buddies and he's going to go do it. Or, the guy from the office, Abdullah from the office. Yeah. I don't know what's the Taliban. I don't know. I'm making this
I got you.
Doesn't fight, right? And he's not in shape, and he should never fight professionally. But he's going in and doing, like, a white collar fight, and then all those people are coming in. They're like, "Well, this is awesome. I think it's great. I think that's a really good thing." Yeah. And I think if people like bashing it, there's no. If you want the sport to get really, really big, you can't have. There's no room for puritanism, if you want it to, like, get massive. Yeah. People want to stay in their gym and with the professional stuff like that. I respect that. Yeah. For sure. Right. Yeah. But can't deny that this has its place, and a very important one in the scene.
I agree 100%. I've seen them grow from, like, event number 5 to this one that happened just like last week. Absolutely so proud of these guys. And I wanted to bring them up on the agenda just so they can get reassured that the Godfather is a fan. And I'm glad you are, because I am one too. Yeah. These guys really are doing a good job for Pakistani MMA. They're really putting it on the map and making sure more and more eyes on combat sports. But I think we got more time to discuss these guys moving forward.
We will talk about 3WL later. Bring them on to the studio.
Let's go. Yeah. I want to do a little 3-way Zoom call or something, just so we can have a little chat with them for sure. Bashir bhai, this is really fun. I hope you get to keep doing this every week, man.
No, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this every week. We'll keep the time frame a little. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. The audience doesn't need to be concerned with this.
We'll have our own theme song.
Yeah.
Right. We're gonna have our own theme song. We're gonna go all the way.
Yeah, hell yeah. Omar Fussy is gonna start working on the graphics ASAP. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the first edition of The Godfather and the Podfather. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment. Make sure you sound off in the comments. Make your own voice heard. Make sure you support Pakistani MMA. Go to all the fighters we mentioned in the podcast. Search them on Instagram. Follow them. Give them a like. Give them a comment. Show some love. Most importantly, show some love. Don't be a negative prick. And from me to you, as I always say, the 3 words to end the podcast, and that is, please keep it tight. I will see you soon.